coding is unique in a way that you're going to face a lot of errors when you code. Things are going to break. In this video, I want to talk to you about my experience of how to handle errors when you code. My name's David, and I'm a freelance web developer. Currently here, based out of Las Vegas, but just got done with a trip from going to Asia and still kind of jet lag. And just going from Asia to US, the jet lag is more brutal. You wake up, but you don't feel rested. You try to sleep, but you can't sleep. So I'm slowly getting back in the groove of things. And I thought I'll make a video for you today because I didn't know how often you face errors when you code. Because other skill set, like let's say photography, you try to take a photo, maybe you don't get the photo how you want it, but the photography, the camera, things don't break. It'll still work, but you don't get the result you want. Or like tennis, maybe you hit the ball, but you don't hit the ball how you want it to, but it'll still work. It won't break. However, with coding, you do something wrong, you code in a way that it wasn't designed to, and the code will break. So I didn't realize that coming in when I was learning to code, how often things would break. And I remember when I first started to learn, I would do YouTube tutorials and follow along, but then somewhere along the way, I would get an error that the YouTuber didn't have. And I would struggle with it. I didn't know what to do. So ultimately, I would just give up on the project. And then I realized after doing multiple tutorials that this is going to be a common occurrence. So I need to try harder and try to resolve the error. So then next time when an error came, I would do what they say in Google things, try to figure it out. But if I couldn't figure it out after a couple of attempts, I would just give up on the project again. And then I signed up for my coding bootcamp. And with this coding bootcamp, things were more high pressure, as in there were stakes to it. There were deadlines to assignments. And if you don't complete the assignments, you don't pass the bootcamp. So with the stakes, I had to really figure it out. And it made me stress. It made me anxious about not completing the project. And I remember one time I scheduled a office hours session with my instructor, feeling stressed, feeling panic about an assignment that I was struggling with. Why wasn't this working? And then I noticed how he reacted to it. He seemed calmed. He wasn't like my stress, my panic state didn't transmute to him. He stayed calm, collected. He thought about the coding problem logically, and then I was able to figure out the solution myself after he talked it through. So I learned that when these errors come, you have to stay calm and think things through in a logical step, and then you can figure this out. It becomes clear, the solution to the problem. And then there was another time when I was in my apprenticeship program working on a project that I got stuck on, and I had my mentor help me on it. And we also got an error on what we were trying to do. And not only was he calm, he was more than that. He was curious by the error, by things not working the way he thought it would be. So that kind of shocked me that I didn't know you can be curious when errors happen, when things go wrong. And I was thinking this is probably why he's a successful engineer, because he had this mindset. So I kept that in mind. And these experiences shaped me how I code today. So now I stay calm, I stay curious, and I also get excited. I get excited when things don't work. I get motivated, even more motivated to figure things out when the code doesn't work. Because when you work professionally, you have to figure it out. Saying like, I don't know how to do this project is pretty unacceptable. I know that there were like a couple of times where the project couldn't be done, but I needed like solid evidence on why it couldn't be done and like approval from another team member saying that it couldn't be done as well. But for the most part, you have to figure things out. You have to do the research. You have to talk to anyone that you need to, message people, create meetings, post on forums, get help until you figure things out. And then that's what I learned from working as a software engineer, that you have to be resourceful, be motivated when errors happen so you can complete the project, because saying that I couldn't do it, I didn't know how to do it, is pretty unacceptable on the job. So you gotta use this mindset for any goal you have. Like when I was looking for a job and I would get rejected from my interviews, it made me even more motivated to figure it out, to become better at coding, so I would get hired. Not getting a job as a developer was unacceptable for me, so I kept iterating until I got it. And when you code, you do the same thing. Like, it's pretty unacceptable that you can't achieve the goal, and you have to keep iterating, think of different angles, use the error to signal as feedback on why things aren't working, so you can figure out the solution to your answer. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. The mindset of what you should have when errors happen, and how I didn't know errors were so common before coding, but now it's kind of welcomed. Thank you for watching. I'm a freelance web developer, so if you need help building out a website, a web app, feel free to message me and I can see how I can help. If you're learning how to code and need coaching help for coding, feel free to message me as well, because I provide coaching too. Thank you so much.